Hello, amazing grade 9 learners and teachers. Welcome back to Brian's Academy, where learning is engaging, practical, and fun. Uh, after after discussing about the pre-technical studies project that is on the designing of a key holder, today we are diving into an exciting agriculture project, and that will be touching on the preparing a container garden and planting bean seeds. You find that this task carries 30 marks. So let's break it down step by step in a simple and enjoyable way that learner will have to get the content in the right way. Now, at the start of the lesson, a teacher has to prepare the lesson plan, and in that lesson plan, there are always the lesson learning outcomes that the learner are supposed to achieve at the end of the lesson. Now, you find that in this project, we have some of the lesson or the project learning outcome that the learner are supposed to attain at the end of this project. Now, let me take you through some of these project learning outcomes that the learner are supposed to come up with. And the first one, we find that individually, learners are supposed to search for information and write the procedures in this project. Then after that, individually, they are supposed to list the tools, equipments, and materials required in this project. And thirdly, in group of 4 to 5 learners, they are supposed to discuss on how to prepare a container garden and plant beans seeds. Then also another project learning outcome is that in group of 4 to 5, they are supposed to prepare a garden and plant at least 50 bean seeds at correct spacing. And remember, here a group can have more than one container. And lastly, each group should carry out caring activities on their garden until the bean seed germinates. So these are some of the project learning outcomes that the learner are supposed to have attained at the end of the project session that have been highlighted as 1 month, because we remember the project is taking 1 month. So at the end of that 1 month, when we'll be uploading the result, the learner are supposed to have attained these skills or these project learning outcomes. So let's go into the first step of this project. And our first step will take the first project learning outcome, and that one is individual research on procedure. Individual research on the procedure. And here, the goal that the learner is supposed to come up with is learn and write down the correct steps for preparing a container garden and planting bean seeds. So that's the goal of this step. Now, let me take you through the procedures to follow in this step. And the first procedure the learner is supposed to do is to choose a good container. I remember when we'll be talking about the tool, we'll come up with different type of containers the learner can choose. Remember, we are using readily available material when carrying out this project. So there I'll try to give you some of the containers that learners can find within their locality. Then the second procedure under this first step, after choosing the container, they are supposed to prepare the soil mixture. Then after that, they fill the container using the soil mixture they have prepared. After that, they will be supposed to space and plant the seeds. Then, after planting the seeds, the next step is watering and daily care of those seeds. And lastly, we have the last step or the last procedure under this one is germination and observation. So remember, these are some of the procedures that the learner are searching or researching on them individually, so that when they come into group, each learner will have his or her own findings so that they can discuss and come up with the best with the best procedures that they can use in that group. So you find that tools and material needed for research under this step, we have notebook. They need a notebook and a pen. Also textbook, where they will be searching for the procedures. We have internet. They can get that result from the internet. For example, after uploading this video, they can come and search so that they see the procedure I have laid there. Also, they can go to the library and check in agriculture books. So those are some of the tools and materials the learner will need in step 1. That is where they are doing individual research on procedure. So let's go to step 2. And in step 2, we are still talking about the individual listing of tools, equipment, and material. Now, they have already come up with the procedure, what they will be doing in this project. Now, first they have to come up with the tools, equipment, and materials. Now, here, I will start with the goal. And the goal of this part or this step is to list all the tools, equipment, and materials they will need to create a container garden. Let me start with the tools. So the tools that the learner can need here, we have the hand trowel, we have spade, we have rake, and we have garden fork. So those are some of the examples or few tools the learner will need in this part. And when we talk about equipment, they can use a watering can or a hose pipe, measuring tape or ruler for spacing. We have containers, pots, baskets, bucket, or recycled plastic tins. So those are some of the containers the learner can choose one to use. And remember, some will use the vehicle tires. They can use vehicle tires. Also, it's also an improvised container that they can use. It is also recommended. Now, we have the materials. When we talk about the materials here, we have the bean seeds, and we said at least 50 per group. That means if a group has 5 learners, it means each learner is supposed to come with at least 10 seeds of bean, so that when you sum up, there will be 50. Remember, in that group, they can have at least 5 containers, so that in each container they are planting 5 or 10 bean seeds, so that they sum up to 50. So then another material is soil, and the soil which is recommended here is loamy soil. That's the one that is preferred to be used in this case. So those are some of the, apart from soil, we have compost or manure. We need compost or manure as one of the material also, and we need mulching material, but this one is optional. Mulching material, because mulching material you can use it in the next level after they have germinated. That's when you can, but you can also still use it at the planting session. So those are some of the things we need to do in step 2. Now let's go to step 3. In step 3 now we are talking about the group discussion and oral presentation. Here I'll take you back to step 1 and step 2. Remember, the learner have carrying out research individually. They were carrying out those research individually. Now in step 3, we are going to group these learners into a group of 4 to 5 learners. And there, each learner is supposed to come up with his or her own finding in step 1 and in step 2. Now, after coming up with those findings, that's now when they will start going through them each individually, and as they discuss, they come up with the best procedure, the best tools they can find very easily, so that they can carry out that project. So that's what will be happening in step 3. In step 4, practical procedures. Now here, now it's now when we want, now it's like now we are starting now the project itself, because now we are in practical. Now the first step in practical procedure, learners to select one or more containers, and it can be a bucket, a sack, a basin, or a tin, the one that they will find available. Then create holes at the bottom for drainage. So they create holes at the bottom for drainage. Then They mix soil and compost stroke manure in a ratio of 3:1. Then let them fill the container with the soil they have mixed there. And step 5, let them use a stick or finger to make holes. So the holes should be 2 to 3 centimeters deep when they are placing the seeds there. 2 to 3 centimeters deep. Check on that one. Then they should space the holes at 10 to 15 centimeter apart. Remember, in equipment, we had a measuring tape or a ruler. So that ruler or that measuring tape now will be used here in spacing. So the spacing should be 10 to 15 centimeters apart. Then they should place one bean seed per hole. Remember that one. One bean seed per hole, not 2, not 3. And cover lightly. So the soil that they should apply there should be light. Then water gently using a watering can. So those are some of the practical procedures the learner will do after they have discussed in step 3. Now they go to the practical part. Now they carry out the project. Let them follow those 8 steps. Now, after planting, what next? Now it's taking care and follow up of the beans which have been planted. And here, some of the group care and follow-up activities is about water daily. So that's the first thing. That beans or those beans which have been planted should be watered daily and not too much to avoid rotting. So when you are watering, don't do it excessively to avoid that rotting. Then protect from pests using natural methods like ash. Now here we are using those methods that we have taught them in class, using readily available resources instead of going to the shop and start buying. Let them use an ash that they can find at home easily. Then they should remove weeds that may grow. And how do they remove weeds? They can use uprooting method to remove the weeds. Then they let them observe and record growth progress in your or in their logbook. So let them do that and all will be well. Now, let them remember to monitor the germination. Usually takes 5 to 10 days. Germination will take 5 to 10 days. Now, when you talk about in conclusion, as I conclude, after doing all that we have discussed there, and that is it, they will have just completed their grade 9 agriculture task from research to planting and care. And they have used their brain, hands, teamwork, and science to grow something real. And remember, be organized in every step, participate actively in your group, take care of your plants daily. And when you do that, you will score the 30 marks. If you have found this helpful, like, comment, share, and subscribe to Brian's Academy for more learning made fun and practical. Happy planting and good luck scoring all your 30 marks. May God bless you abundantly.